More and more companies are setting up here in Serbia. They're shutting down their bases or their operations in another country, especially if their taxes are very high, and they're looking to establish their new home base here. And with that requires some shipping, some logistics, and some upfront costs when it comes to bringing things from the outside of the EU into Serbia, dealing with taxes, VAT, taxes, custom charges, so on and so forth. And in this video, we're going to run through some of the scenarios, some of the things to look out for when you are looking to relocate your corporate headquarters into Serbia, or even setting up a branch and you're looking to bring in office supplies here, you're looking to bring in some operations, some equipment, whatnot, and how this may impact your decision. Is it best to bring that in here, or is it best to sell it off in the country that you're currently in and purchase new here in Serbia? Now, let's first talk about the trade position when it comes to Serbia. Of course, we here are not in the European Union. So one of the beautiful things that many of our clients love is that we're not tied to EU regulations. However, there is a flip side to that is, there could cost a lot more to bring things in here into Serbia because we want to stay sovereign, which in my opinion, as an individual and as a business owner, I am absolutely fine with that. I would much rather have my sovereignty, my freedom, than be tied to a conglomerate of the European Union, which in my opinion, is starting to fall apart in shambles. Now, even though we are not part of the EU, we do not have EU free movement, but we do have bilateral trade agreements here with the EU, with EFTA, with CEFTA, with Russia, Turkey, and so many more other countries. And so what we're going to talk about is the custom processes, what documents are required, what duties are you going to be looking to pay here. Now we're going to get into the import duties. So the import duties here are determined by the HS code classification. You're going to have a declared customs value when you're bringing things in, as well as the origin country, which is going to be determining the amount of taxes that you pay. So the common range on the taxes are anywhere between 0 and 15% here, depending on the product type. And of course, I am reading off a script because I am not a customs official. I am not a tax advisor. And with that said, this is not tax or legal advice. One of the things I can tell you right off the bat is we have helped many clients bring in things from simple household items to full corporate moves here. And we are able to give you a ballpark price of what it's going to cost you in order to bring things in here. But at the same time, that is always determined up to the custom border officials as to what the final outcome will be. And what we typically like to do is shoot high, and then they typically come in lower. And so it's a win-win for both sides, for yourself because you're paying less, and for us as well, we feel better because now we didn't say it was one price and then you were charged more than that. So some of the other things we have to look into are that some seasonal or special duties are applied on food and agricultural items. We have some individuals that are looking to set up various agricultural businesses here in Serbia. And so their whole idea was, listen, we're just going to leave what we have in our home country and buy brand new here in Serbia, which to me makes sense. Why bring all that in? Deal with the paperwork if you can just simply purchase it here, write it off on your business here in Serbia, and move on with your day. Only deferred under special regimes are we have to decide when it comes to the taxes, which it applies to warehousing and active processing. And so you may have to pay those duties and they are non-revocable. But again, there are special regimes when it comes to warehousing and active processing. Now, what about VAT? VAT is one that many clients decide that they really don't want to deal with because we do have a 20% VAT tax here in Serbia. But one of the beautiful things is that, for instance, if you can prove that your equipment or your items were produced in Europe somewhere and you can get those certificates, you can get it reduced down to 10% or even zero at some points on certain goods. It all depends. Now, the VAT is based on the goods plus the freight plus the insurance and plus the custom duties. And so a good example is you brought in some goods that are valued at 100,000. You have a duty of 2,000 euros. You'll have the VAT, which is 20%. And so you'll have to pay 20,400 euros in tax on VAT taxes on that 100,000. So that's typically how it goes. Unfortunately, that's how Serbia operates. Like I said, some people decide, hey, we don't want to deal with this. We'll just sell what we got and set up new here in Serbia. Now, one thing you have to take into control is that there are import permits and regulatory controls on certain items and equipment that you're bringing in here. So for certain goods, you're obviously going to need license and permits, and one of those items are dual use goods. So we're talking about tech, encryption, and defense items. So if you're looking to get into one of those, you're going to have to step it up a notch and get some license and permits. Some other items that will come into that category as well will be medical, telecom, radio equipment, and chemicals. So that is another area that you may want to deal with. You may not want to deal with. Again, this video is not telling you what you have to and don't have to do. This is a video to give you what you're going to be up against when you're looking to do this type of move here into Serbia. Now, if you're missing any of these documents, of course, you're going to deal with delays and confiscations at the border. So typical documents that you're going to be required to have are invoicing, packaging slips, bill of lading and airway bill, certificate of origin, import license if that's applicable, declaration of conformity. And there could be some other ones, again, depending on the items that you're looking to bring into Serbia. Now, what are some frequent causes for delays? Well, you're going to have the wrong HS codes or declared value. That's going to delay you. You're going to have missing certificates or origin documents, custom inspections backlog. You know, Serbia is on the rise. And so more and more businesses are coming in here. And so customs are obviously going to be busy. And customs don't only deal with businesses. They're going to deal with people moving here to Serbia, getting people's vehicles cleared at customs as well, and many other things. And so you're going to have to deal with some unexpected backlog and delays when it comes to that. Another one is going to be import license mismatch, undeclared shipment values. So, you know, say you put something, you create something and you're like, okay, this is all going to be a product or a equipment, and you just didn't have enough room in your B crate, and you're going to slip in that one extra item into the A crate and be like, no big deal, it had more space. If you don't declare it, they may take some time into assessing why that was not declared in that crate. So in order to avoid any of these delays, I would strongly recommend that you hire a local customs broker early. We have a number of partners that we work with that deal with this on a daily basis. We ship anything and everything from around the world, from People, of course, Canada, United States. We've shipped things for people from Malaysia, from China, from Australia. We brought things in from Sweden even. And we're not talking just by ship. We're talking by land, by air. There's so many options. We've even brought in people's grand pianos here, some art, all those types of things. So the more heads up, the more pre-planning that you do when you look to bring in things here into Serbia, the easier for you, the better outcome you will have, the clearer and the more ease of mind that you will have, that there will be no options, no obstacles. So one of the examples I'm going to use is one of the German tech firms that we worked with. They were relocating 100 servers into Belgrade for a data center. And the CIF value was €1,000,000 that they were bringing in here. They had a 2% duty rate, which was €20,000. Then the VAT on top of that at 20%, which brought them up to €204,000. And so the total upfront importing taxes they had to pay was €224,000, not dollars. Sorry, I'm still stuck with Canadian dollars or American dollars because just got out of a consultation with someone on that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if that your VAT is registered, you can reclaim that VAT later down the road on your taxes. And so that is how that client played out. They figured, hey, listen, our equipment is worth bringing in that much. We're going to be making profit, and in the next 6 months, that will pay for itself. And the client was glad to work with us into moving those servers over into Belgrade. And of course, with that, we also had to find him some property. And that took about 6 months process in order to get that fully set up for this client. And so it's always good to look ahead of time. So if you're a company preparing to relocate to Serbia, setting up your headquarters here, looking to reduce your tax, it's one of the reasons this German company also decided to bite the bullet and pay those extra taxes, because he says, hey, listen, I'm going to be saving taxes here in Serbia by reducing my taxes at a 15% corporate rate rather than the 30 or 40% corporate rate that they were paying in Germany. And if you're looking to do something like this, feel free to reach out to us ahead of time. One of the things that I like to tell our clients is that nothing moves fast when it comes to these types of processes. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of government officials that we got to go through, a lot of government oversight and paperwork to bring in all of your things and to get you established here into Serbia. If that's something that you're looking to do, please book in a consultation with us at relocationserbia.com, and I'll see you on the next one.